good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Maroon'd Gala here at Netherdale. Yesterday and today have seen a host of rugby games right from primary 4 all the way up to the seniors tournament this afternoon. The seniors tournament is also round 2, the Kings of the Sevens, and after their victory at Peebles 2 weeks ago, it's Kelso who are sitting top of the table with 10 points, followed very closely by Hawick, Watsonians and Melrose. This afternoon's format is 2 pools of 4 teams, and it's the top 2 from each pool that will be going through to the semi-finals. Last year it was hosts Gala who beat Peebles in the final to take home their own trophy, and I'm sure they're going to be trying to do that again today.
It was 2 Scots who finished top of Pool A after going through undefeated in their 3 games, beating Selkirk into second place with a fine display of Fijian flair from their team. While in Pool B it was hosts Gala who won all their 3 matches, with Kelso finishing second thanks to a late try by the Maroons who won their game against Kelso. So it was 2 Scots against Kelso in the first semi-final, with the Borders team inflicting a first defeat on the guest side to reach their first Gala Sevens final for 22 years, dismantling the Army team 33-7. In the other semi-final, Gala suffered their first loss of the competition by going down to Selkirk by 21 points to 5. So we had the unusual occurrence of both finalists getting there despite losses in their pool games. It set up an all-border final between Kelso and Selkirk. Selkirk had appeared 10 times before in a Gala Sevens final and had lost 9 of them. So could they defy that final jinx at Netherdale and get only their second win to add to their triumph back in 2009? Well, let's join our commentators Euan Welsh, Sam Mathews and Robin Purdie.
So here we go, and it's Patterson with a high hanger, and he's going to give his forwards a chance to get under that. It was panned back by a Kelso player, but straight into the hands of Woodcock of Kelso, and it's been given to Cammy Brown. So back in the hands now of Patterson. Patterson's got Angus Roberts. Angus Roberts comes on a cut and he goes on a sort of in and out arc, but he's been pretty well tackled there. Josh Welsh, I'm being told, is out for Selkirk, and the ball squirted loose and it's come into the hands of Blake Cullen. So we'll look into who's going to replace Josh Welsh from another club. We'll let you know that when it's known. Oh, but a penalty's been conceded by Kelso there. Scott McClyman on the floor and has been taken quickly by Dwayne Patterson, and Dwayne Patterson's got Andy Tate. Andy Tate's out through the hands here, and it's out to Cammy Brown, and is Cammy Brown in for the first try of the final? He is indeed. So first blood to Kelso here, and Sam, that's just the start that Kelso would have wanted.
You saw it with Dwayne Patterson. There's real urgency to it, especially from the kick-off.
Yeah.
I think that might have been back because he was the one that gave away the ball to Scott McClyman in the turnover, which he's not going to be the first player and definitely won't be the last.
No, he certainly won't.
You say that he's now just missed his conversion, so he's creating that urgency. He just needs to keep a lid on it though and just make sure it's still controlled, dynamic play from himself. But absolutely right, scoring that first try is really pivotal, especially against a defensive powerhouse like the Selkirk side. So
going to be Kelso 5-0 to the good. Couple of minutes gone here, and another high hanger by Dwayne Patterson. Did it go 10? Just shy. There must have been millimetres in that one, but it can be millimetres or it can be a mile. It's not gone 10 regardless, and it's going to be a tap and go for Selkirk. Aaron McComb takes it, and it's out to Callum Anderson. He was very impressive in the semi-final, having come on as a substitute early in the piece. McClyman feeds it out to Aaron McComb. Centre field Selkirk, halfway line, out to his brother. Now Andrew Grant City. Andrew Grant City straightens and goes, and he's got power to go with the pace. And there's a high shot in there on Andrew McComb, and Grant City picks up and goes again, and he thinks he sees a little bit of space, and he's been well tackled there by by Woodcock, Murray Woodcock that is, and there's another high tackle in there by a Kelso player. So Selkirk now deep into the Kelso 22, looking for a swift reply, and he's gone route one as McClyman, and he's bashed his way over, and my word, Euan Welsh, he's seen what he was going to do. He thought about what he was going to do there, and he thought, I'm going to do this and you ain't going to stop me.
Yeah, and again, we know we've mentioned him a lot, but it comes to 2 really pivotal plays for Grant City, and you know, he obviously backs himself. I mean, he's obviously not been listening to us on the radio, but he obviously knows he's been a good player today, and that is shown because he had the ability, you know, in a tough situation, when he's got loads of options. Twice he just went, no, let's go, I'm going to go for this.
Good kick by one of the best kickers on show here this afternoon. Good conversion. Got a bit of a ding-dong on here as Aaron McComb takes the kick-off, and that has gone 10 and not by much. It's came back on the Selkirk side. Great kick-off there by Aaron McComb, and it was his brother, I think, who got up and got a mitt to it. So back in the hands of McComb, the playmaker. Now it comes again to McClymondt, the try scorer, and he sees a bit of space again, and he comes back inside to Blake Cullen. Another impressive performer for Selkirk this afternoon. McClymondt plays scrum half this time. He goes out to Grant Sutty. Grant Sutty out to Aaron McComb. He finds Lachlan Ferguson. Ferguson stands in the tackle, and there's a Kelso Jackler on there, but they've won possession back. There's good work in there by Andy Tate, doing the donkey work for Kelso, but still came back on the Selkirk side. And Aaron McComb has a bit of a dart this time, and does he go out the back door? He does, but no, there was an advantage being played, and the referee's going to bring them back, and it looks like Aaron McComb has taken a sore one here, possibly a bang to the face, and not a man, Sam, Aaron McComb, that Selkirk will want to lose at this stage.
No, absolutely not. He's been a real talismanic figure in terms of orchestrating the play and dictating the tempo. You know, you've had Sutty in the offensive masterclass and Anderson making breaks, but you've had McClymondt in the defensive, but McComb's been the one that's had them all ticking over, hasn't he? He's just kind of marshalled his team up and down the pitch, so a really big loss. So they'll be hoping they can get a bit of time here just to see if he can actually carry on. Yeah,
Aaron McComb, that's a shame. Very good player, Aaron McComb. He's almost the sort of French style little general, isn't he? He can play 9, he can play 10, he's got a bit of pace, but he's got a ton of guile about him. But we're back underway here, and Selkirk have taken the penalty. Callum Anderson goes now, he straightens, he's tackled by a couple of Kelso players there, Frankie Robson being one of them. Now it's with McClymondt again, the workhorse in the Selkirk ranks, and a little bit of a half break there by the other McComb, that being Andrew, and he's stolen a couple of metres. Again, Robson in, looking for the ball there, but it's came back on the Selkirk side, and it's Eason now, Blake Cullen straightening goes, and was there a high shot in there on Cullen? Yeah, the arm is out, so there's another penalty coming. They're playing with a free ball here, Selkirk gambling with house money, and it's in the hands of Andrew Grant Sutty. Dummies and goes, and he's made a break here, and in he comes again, and he's going to go here, Andrew Grant Sutty, and that is a wonderful try. 5th of the afternoon for him, Euan, and he really is a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, before he made 2 decisions similar to that when there wasn't even an advantage, whereas there you're giving him a platform to kind of experiment, and as I say, he's full of confidence. So when you give a team advantage, which is 4 high tackles, which is something we've kind of seen happening all day, they had the advantage, but again, they didn't really panic. They just still kind of went through their motions. They didn't do anything completely creative. They just waited until it fell into the hands of the right player at the right time, who had that bit about him to say, nah, let's go for this. And again, he just went right through and fully backed himself, and it's led to a try.
Kelso now in possession. Cammy Brown, he's been a prominent performer for the Tweedsiders today. Speaking of which, here comes Dwayne Patterson, and he looked to get out the back door, Dwayne Patterson, but thought better of it. It would have been a bit Hollywood given the situation. Andy Tate thought about a snipe up the near side, but he thinks better of it as well and goes back to Frankie Robson. Out to Murray Woodcock. They could do with getting Woodcock on the ball, but there's a break on here by Tweedy. That's Hamish Tweedy, and is Hamish Tweedy going to go all in and all the way? And he is, and that's just what the doctor ordered for Kelso. That's a wonderful piece of running by Hamish Tweedy, and they're right back in it.
Yeah, I think the biggest compliment you give that was very Grant Sutty, wasn't it? He just decided he was going for it and just went straight through. He knew he had the angle. He's not been too kind to his kicker, where he's quite out far in the post and he's on the windier side of the pitch. Not that much stand cover, but still a very good try. And not only that, it was very fast in response as well, so a very good time to score as well.
As we await the kick, the conversion attempt, it's a decent old strike by Dwayne Patterson, and the over it sailed. So 12 points apiece at half time. We're back underway. Selkirk have taken the kick-off, and it's hit right off the head of a Selkirk player, and it's fallen at the hands of Andy Tate, and Andy Tate's made 30-40 metres, and good running by Andy Tate, but he's been wrapped up there by Callum Anderson. Good defensive duties, but Kelso have maintained possession. Murray Woodcock now has seen the space, and nobody's going to stop Murray Woodcock. He is too quick, he is too direct, and that is his 5th try of the day as well, Sam.
Murray Woodcock has had an absolutely phenomenal tournament for a young player as well. He's a real gem that they've had growing down there at Pointer Park, and you can see they've polished him up well, and he's now really flourishing in these first 2 sevens tournaments that he's been. And he had a great performance 48 hours ago, I've heard as well.
And that's a great kick-off by Patterson, and it's going to give Cammy Thompson a chance, and it's fallen at the hands of Woodcock again, and Woodcock got the cute offload away right to that man Thompson, and he's in for another quick strike. And Sam Mathews, talk about a final being turned on its head.
I was about to say exactly that. The first 7 minutes do not match the opening 2 minutes of this half. What a great attacking onset from Kelso there. They've really seen it. I saw that Scott McClymont was down here on the bench getting a well-deserved rest. It was clear that Selkirk had tried to sort of marshal the first half of this second half, the third quarter if you like, and Dwayne Patterson and his side have really just taken, once again, the bull by the horns, not to reuse cliches, but they have really just cemented that to make sure that they can now attack this from the front foot.
You feel that if Kelso score next, then it could be out of reach for the suitors, and it's another challengeable kick-off, and McClymont's under it. McClymont takes it cleanly, but he's hit hard, but he's hit high by Murray Woodcock. That's about the first blot on his copybook this afternoon, but it was a long floated pass. The penalty was taken quickly, and it's been knocked on by Selkirk. It was in the breadbasket. Callum Anderson it was, and he's been super impressive this afternoon, Anderson, but that's not the time to cough one up, Euan.
No, and it's actually been the last two mistakes that are probably costing Selkirk right now. Obviously one led to a try, and this one's led to a scrum on the 22, and I think that, you see Selkirk players are now starting to kind of argue amongst each other and have kind of comments to each other, and that's not what you want to see, because Selkirk have been so resilient all day and been strong together, and you don't want to see that now because there's still plenty of time. And
there's been a scrum on the 22 for Kelso, a Kelso scrum, and it's in the hands of Frankie Robson, and he gets out to Angus Roberts, who's on for Kelso. Not a bad man to enter the fray. From a pointer perspective, it's Tweedy out to Andy Tate tactically brings it back to Tweedy, looking for space. Robson, Dwayne Patterson sees a gap, and Patterson's through the gap, and as cute as you like, he's found the space, he's taken the space, he's over, and Sam Mathews cream rises to the top, and he's about as good as it gets on the circuit.
I love watching Dwayne Patterson play rugby. I will happily admit it. I'm a massive Dwayne Patterson fan. Little things like that. He was literally flagging his players to get behind him because everybody was stood in front of him, and next thing you know, he's given one show and go, and he's out of there.
We're into the last minute now, according to the scoreboard clock, and Patterson's going to go down the touchline with this one and eat up a bit more of this time and go for the Kelso line out. That's smart play by Patterson. They really have got a depth about their squad, Kelso, and it's Brown to Smith. He fancies a dart, but he goes back to Utterson to Barber. These young tyros in unison, and there's a foot race on here. That's Robbie Tweedy. Kelso still in possession. He's over the line, Robbie Tweedy, and he's bought himself a score there. He's snaffled one. That's his second of the afternoon. Kelso players, Kelso staff, euphoric on the touchline, and Euan, they've been the best. We said before the final, this is the two best teams, and the best team has prevailed.
Absolutely, and it took to the kind of second half for us to kind of fully see who was the better team, but definitely the cream has came to the top, as you mentioned earlier. 22 years since Kelso last won here. I wasn't even thought about the last time they won here, so that kind of says it for itself. So I think it's great for Kelso going into the 15th season off the back of two really good wins on the 7th circuit, and also obviously that game on Thursday. But I think this will do the boys at Kelso, not just the players on the pitch, but everybody involved with the club. As you said, it's the right community atmosphere down at Point Park, and that'll do them great favours going into this season.
So a fine afternoon's rugby draws to a close. Maroon'd Gala. Kelso are the champions. They've gone 2 from 2 in Kings of the Sevens, and the final has finished Kelso 32, Selkirk 12.
Pretty gutted, but we just spoke there, and it's a really good improvement on last week at Peebles. Kelso on a really good run of form, and they were the better team in the final.
Team's buzzing. Team's very happy with it. That's back to back. We've won now. The morale very high. Spirits are high, and everyone's loving it right now. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it was a physical game against the Scots, but we felt we had enough to sort of get into the semi-finals and push on, for the tournament. The semi-final took its toll against Gala. It was a physical game, and it was a quick turnaround. But look, Kelso were properly good in that final. So. We couldn't get the ball in the second half, and fair play to them.
Yeah, it just took us a couple of games to get fully going. That Gala game was a bit of a wake up, but then playing the two Scots really set us up for that final. And then credits to Selkirk, played very well, but yeah, glad to get the job done.
Well, another great afternoon of rugby here at Maroon'd, and it was Kelso who lifted the trophy and another 10 points to extend their lead to 20 at the top of the table. That's it for Sevens just now until we go to Melrose in April of 2024. For us, it'll be a week off, and then I hope you can join us at Hawick when they take on Glasgow Hawks as we kick off the 15 season. But for now, from all of us here at Netherdale, cheerio!